He has lived his life as a big gamble, and 2017 was the ultimate game of chess. The traditional ajua or bow, here is symbolism of Odinga's checkered political career.
Without anything. So I have won. I'm the champion.
Odinga's political ambitions fully epitomized by this seat that gets him recharged in his quest for the country's top job. Welcome to Odinga's Bondo Empire.
Mike Tyson was a world heavyweight boxing champion.
Wow. So he gave the dad the boxing glove?
He gave me.
His birthplace where he refuels and keeps charge to sustain his boxing in the political arena. Despite having suffered some setbacks, he is yet to be knocked out.
2017 was a big disappointment to the people of Kenya.
Despite that disappointment, the opposition chief remains on a journey he says he will not abandon until it's realized.
We are standing on the edge of River Jordan, and I want him to know that our journey into Canaan is real, and that we will cross the river and get into Canaan.
That trek had been shelved after diplomats reached out to strike dialogue between the two antagonizing factions.
We said we needed to give a chance to dialogue. If dialogue would help to resolve the stalemate, the underwater crisis. So this is the only reason why they beat a retreat. First, let me tell you, the things we want to be on the table are issues like electoral justice. That is very fundamental to us. Because unless it is addressed, there will be no 2022. Okay? Because that will be the norm. People are angry, and this anger is not going to go away, not going to die away. Because they know that they did not vote for this government. And this government wants to now lord it over them. That's your government. Just like the mighty British Empire crumbled under the pressure of the people. So is this going to happen?
Politics like a concrete jungle is anyone's playing field, but Odinga claims, conniving as Lion King, he has seized what he claims is solid proof that his victory had been snatched away from him.
Chichir is a former ICT manager at IBC, and he was the one standing there telling them, don't open. So they were not able to open. When our lawyers complained the following day in court, they said that their lawyer, Mr. Mwita, said that people were asleep in Europe, so they could not be accessed. You see, a server should be accessible 24/7. Okay. So the court did not make a ruling on that, contempt, up to now. Okay? I mean, that matter is still pending. But then, what I said is that in the meantime, we have been able now to access the server. You've opened the server, and we have the original results.
You managed to access the server?
Yes. And which shows that we won the elections. See? That is the ground which we're using to swear in.
How did you access the server?
We have managed. Don't worry about how we have managed. Let them come up and deny it. You see, they were able to open the server for the 26th of October. That they were able to open immediately, up to now. But they have not been able to get the one of 8th of August to date. Ask yourself why. Because they know that if they do so, they will be embarrassed.
People thought that probably this would be your last election. Is that so?
I'm not talking about 2022. I'm talking about these elections, because these elections are not over. They're the ones I'm concerned with. Okay? Yeah. So I don't want to talk about 2022 or any other election in the future.
As such, despite this warning shot from the country's government chief legal advisor,
the criminal law of the Republic of Kenya in Article 40 of the Penal Code provides or stipulates that that sort of process is high treason. What is the punishment for high treason? It is death.
The opposition chief remains defiant and adamant.
I've already been charged with treason before. I know it. He does know it himself. But I'm saying that if death sentence is what the price that has to be paid so that Kenyans can get electoral justice, then we are ready to pay it. So that will not stop us from swearing in. And that's why I say that nobody should mistake our postponement for cowardice. See, if they're not ready to conduct constructive engagement, we'll go ahead. But once we go ahead, we'll have crossed the Rubicon. There will be no going back. Okay? That is what it is. And we are going to do it properly in style. But first, we are going to start with people's assemblies. You see, we started in the coast. They are officially going to launch the coast. Then we'll go to the western. From there, we'll go to the Ma. From there, we'll go to eastern, lower eastern. From there, we'll go to some part of the Rift Valley, to Turkana. Then we'll go to Nyanza. Then we'll end up, we'll go to the northeastern. Then we'll end up in Nairobi. And it will be in a big way.
Despite absconding the rerun election after winning big at the Supreme Court, Odinga has rewritten the history chronicles of successfully challenging the president's election.
A declaration is hereby issued that the presidential election held on 8th August 2017 was not conducted in accordance with the Constitution and the applicable law, rendering the declared results invalid, null, and void.
And now, despite the election being voided, the opposition is retreating back to the August 8th election results for solace.
Then the ruling of September 1 did not nullify the results of 8th August. What they nullified was fraudulent announcement by the IEBC that Uhuru won. That is what they found to be irregular, okay? And that is what they nullified. They did not nullify the entire result, the correct results, because they did not access the server. The server was not given to them. If they had had that, then the ruling would have been different.
And on his boycott of the repeat elections, Odinga claims the system had been set up to conspire against the opposition.
You see, it is not just Western Kenya that boycotts. People did not vote in the coast. And this was confirmed even when we were there last week. They would tell you they never voted. The figures were just added. They never voted in Northeastern. They never voted in Okambani, the whole of the Okambani area. They did not vote. They did not vote in Turkana. The Maasai did not vote at all. You see, the Kisis and Luos here did not vote. So 2/3 of the country did not vote. But even their strongholds of Central Rift Valley, the turnout was very poor, as was confirmed by comment or by the media on that day. Now the media are silent because they're under a lot of pressure. Okay, I said that Uhuru ran against Kenyatta, first round. Second round, he ran against turnout. So that to now inflate the figures. You remember in the petition, they were asked to explain how 1.6 million people were not identified biometrically, neither did they have ID cards. If you cannot identify your fingers and you don't have a kipande, how do I identify you? To allow you to vote? Huh? And those people are allowed to vote. So if they were doing this, Uhuru was running alone. How about if we were running with him? Okay? Because when he ran alone, he got officially 3.5 million, but it was increased to 7.4. So if I had run, they would have just waited to see my figures and then used that to increase Uhuru's figures. So it was going to be an exercise in futility. It was better that we stayed out of it than going to tarnish our name, that we went and lost. Okay. And then, as you know, as I mentioned the other day, in court, our lawyers applied for the opening of the server. And the Supreme Court gave an order to the IBC to open the server. The IBC refused to open the server in the presence of our people.
Championing a crusade of electoral reforms, Odinga has had several run-ins with government agencies. His supporters came head-on with harm's way as security agencies endeavored to foil these angry street crusades. The opposition chief claims the country is at crossroads.
Kenya is almost at a tipping point. The project Kenya is under serious question. And I believe that we can still retain Kenya as one united country, unit. That is what our forefathers wanted. But it must be negotiated more seriously, rather than being dismissed that, oh, wananchi wamechagua. People are angry, and this anger is not going to go away, not going to die away. Because they know that they did not vote for this government. And this government wants to now lord it over them. That's your government. Just like the mighty British Empire crumbled under the pressure of the people. So is this going to happen? So I can see that there is anger in the air, and there is a clear determination to bring about change.
With sections of the country boycotting the repeat elections and now secession debate gathering pace, the NASA leader is warning against government's grandstanding.
I serve notice to those treating our constitutional order with casual recklessness that the Constitution is the general will of all. No one, including myself, is above it. No matter who you are subject to its authority. Anything outside the Constitution is a hostile intrusion. Whoever destroys property, whoever chooses senseless violence over constitutional order, all these are enemies of the Republic, and that is how they will be treated. There will be a 5th, 6th, and even 10th president of Kenya, but there will not be a 2nd, 3rd, or 4th Kenya.
No, I don't approve of it. I mean, I don't support it. Neither do I want it to be just thrown out. I want us to sit down with those people and talk, to negotiate, hear them out. Why are you calling for cessation? What are the minimum conditions which will enable you to remain in Kenya? So that they now remain in Kenya by choice. Not that we force them to be in Kenya when they are hurting. These people are hurting seriously. And if you listen to them, like we had that debate in Mombasa this last weekend. The issues they're raising are weighty issues, which need to be addressed at a national conference.
But with the bad blood displayed in public between the Kenyattas and Odingas threatening to tear apart the country, how is the relationship between the two?
Uhuru Kenyatta.
Who came here, yeah?
They are friends.
Yeah.
Even now.
They're friends, oh yeah.
Even now.
Yeah. Yeah? They're friends. Huh? I don't have any issues with the president as a person. We have relationship as families, and which are there. You saw those pictures in the museum, you know. We have a long history. Mzee used to sleep here, even at the Bondo there, and in our house in Kisumu. And Jaramogi used to go and stay in Gatundu. So we have got that history of relationship at that level, and that has not died. So when he called me, personally we talk, but then we differ in politics.
Sam Ogina for Events 2017.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Asante.